Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, we have to get our heads matching up.
We actually are usually pretty even. Like,
It must be that our computers are like at the same level on our desk.
well, and I do this too, so
Yeah, that's very true. Well, welcome everyone to the Wellness Wake Up Weekly. This morning we're talking about something super important, setting and keeping boundaries. Oh my goodness.
yes, I had an epiphany about this yesterday. It's kind of fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have a few questions for you to start out, and then we will introduce ourselves if you are brand new to the Wellness Wake Up Weekly and if you've never seen either or both of us before. First of all, I would like to know how many times, if you know, how many times have you said yes when you really wanted to say no? Also, have you ever felt guilty for putting yourself first? Feel free to just raise your hand, put me, put however many times you said yes when you actually really want to say no, but maybe you're a little bit of a people pleaser. You don't want to let people down. So you said yes anyway.
Yeah.
And also, do you feel like everyone else's schedules come before your own? And this is really, really common in women, especially moms, when
Yes.
you've got kids, their schedules, your spouse's schedule, your work schedule, maybe parents, siblings, friends, everyone else's schedules, do they seem to come first before your own?
Or if you have something scheduled and something comes up, do you cancel yours?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, lastly, tell us in the comments which is harder for you, setting boundaries or keeping boundaries? Which one's the hardest out of those two? While you're answering those questions and thinking about those things, and it's probably pretty easy to answer, right? You probably know right off of the bat. You're like, "Yep, that's me," or "Yes, that happens," or "Yep, it's the setting of the boundaries that I struggle with the most," or "It's the keeping of the boundaries that I struggle the most." So, anyway, while you're thinking about that and answering, Christine and I will go ahead and introduce ourselves. So go ahead, Christine. You can go ahead.
Okay. I am Christine Lunsford. I am an Empower You coach. I live in North Central Arkansas. Sorry that my brain like froze. Where am I?
Where
Somewhere
am
in the
I?
world. Somewhere in the
Where
world.
in the world is Christine Lunsford?
That would be kind of fun. I'm married to my sweetheart, whose birthday is coming up on Sunday. So if you're watching this and you know him, torment him and wish him a happy birthday. Um,
Hi.
and I am a dog mom for Jack Russells. We've had a lot of fun with our little Jacks and chickens. And I am so tired of my chickens coming up and laying eggs in the golf cart.
What? Oh my goodness.
2 days in a row. I walk out and they've laid an egg in the golf cart. I'm like, you
Weird.
have a nest. Go to your nest. So, yes, I'm also chapter president of the Ozarks chapter of the Rich Girl Network. And this aligns perfectly with what we do in there. So it is pretty awesome. Also an author.
Yes,
Yeah, all those good things.
mention your book name so people can get it.
Oh, yes, it's called Wrong Answer. And it's funny because I just had somebody that I work with started reading it and she goes, I never knew all of this about you. And I was like, I know, it's kind of cool. You're the reason why it's called Wrong Answer. And like Carrie Marie, we go down rabbit holes all the time. And that's why we bring this stuff to you. Some of the stuff are things that we practice all day, every day. And this is one of them. And some things are new, like my smartwatch rabbit hole. And I started a rabbit hole right before we got on this today. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but it ought to be interesting. So anyway, Carrie Marie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I am Carrie Marie Vaughn, and I am located in upstate New York in the Adirondack foothills. And I am an unstickify your life coach, meaning that I help you to get unstuck in different areas of your life. And my husband and I, we've been together since we were in high school. We have three adult children. Our youngest is actually here visiting for a little while with us, which we're excited. And we have three cats of our own, and we also have a grand dog and five grand cats. One, two, three, four, five. Yes, five grand cats all. Our son has three, and each of our girls have one. So, yes, five altogether. Oh my goodness.
Isn't one of
And
your daughters getting a second one?
no, no,
Okay,
my oldest just got hers
okay.
last week, actually. Oh my goodness. And it's so funny because both the girls' cats are itty bitty. They're only like 7 pounds. They're these tiny little things. And even though one is 1 year old and one is 2 years old, but they were both rescued. So, anyway, yes, love all of the fur babies. I love animals. They're just so sweet. And yeah, for fun, I love doing things outside. I love horseback riding, all that good stuff. But I am super passionate about helping women to break free from where
Mhm.
they are stuck. And that is a huge reason why Christine and I bring this to you. And I am also a Rich Girl Network chapter president, Adirondack and Green Mountain chapter. And we are just so passionate about helping women step into their true potential, to be an advocate for themselves, to know what tools and resources are out there and available to
Mhm.
them so that they can be living their fullest lives. So that's why we're bringing this to you. And if you didn't already know, we come live every single week
Yes.
on Wednesday morning, Wellness Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, all of that at 9 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Central. And so if you haven't watched this before, be sure to follow us. Be sure to follow us over on YouTube as well, because that's where all of the previous episodes are. Facebook decides to delete them after 30 days. YouTube keeps them forever. So you can
Yeah.
find them over there just by doing a quick little search. If you search for Wellness Wake Up Weekly, you'll probably find both of our channels.
I like the YouTube version because it is so much easier.
Yes.
So much
Yes.
easier.
Yep, for sure. And, you can watch it on a faster speed on the replay and still get all of the information.
Yeah, absolutely. I am a big thing about that. Big,
Yes.
big. I think you turned me on to that and I went, "Oh my gosh, this is so much better."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love listening to things on faster speed, because the time is precious, and that's actually that's a good lead into what we're talking about today, because time is precious and boundaries are a huge part of that. And so one of the things that so many people, um, literally boundaries affect things like wellness, like all over wellness, and it also affects things like our peace, our time, and
Mhm.
also our self-worth. So every time that we ignore our own needs and ignore and don't set boundaries or don't keep our boundaries, our mind and body are noticing, and that becomes a bad pattern. And so let's talk about why sometimes boundaries feel hard to set.
Absolutely. Well, and you and I both know we've coached enough women to know that women, and we know this from ourselves too, not just from the women that we've coached, but
Yeah.
women are raised to be the helpful, to be selfless, to be reliable, to be available, to be the one that holds everything together. You know, suck it up and deal with it. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard
Yeah.
that. Or
Yeah.
it'll be okay, you'll figure it out. Um, Sometimes that it can be very detrimental. And I'm not saying, so don't hear what we're not saying. We're not saying don't be helpful or selfless. We're saying you can do both. You can have both and.
Yeah. Yeah, because, by showing up all the time as helpful, selfless, reliable, available, and the one that's holding everything together, somewhere along the way, we start believing that by saying no to things that we're not feeling aligned with is selfish. And or like that we don't want to disappoint anyone by,
Mhm.
not being available to them, or saying no to them. Um or that somebody will be upset with us, that we're gonna
People
let them.
pleaser. That's a people pleaser.
Yeah, and I'm a recovering people pleaser, believe me. So I've been
I am a recovering lone wolf. I'm gonna do it by myself just because it's easier. Like, I'm not
Mm,
gonna bother anybody else. I still sometimes struggle with this, and,
mhm.
yes, I am okay, any other oldest children out there?
Yes.
Yes, we tend to just, you just handle it,
Yeah,
and
you just do it all on your own, and you don't need to ask for help for things.
right.
Or you put your own needs or wants on hold. You're just like, that can wait. It's
Yes.
okay. That can wait. I'll do that next week." How many times we put that off?
Oh, yeah.
Put things off for ourselves.
Yes. And here's the thing, and you and I have talked about this. Setting boundaries is not about being mean or disrespectful or rejecting someone.
Right,
That's not what we're saying.
right.
This is about respecting yourself.
And that's huge and so
Yes.
important. It's so important to keep in mind that you're not saying no to somebody else to be mean to them. You're saying no to somebody else to respect yourself, your own time, your own
Mhm.
priorities, your own needs.
Absolutely. And people, okay, both sides are going to benefit when you set boundaries.
Mhm.
And the ones that you have said yes to all the time, I promise you are going to be the ones that like kick and scream and throw temper tantrums. And
Yeah.
I just had a great visual. If you own a piece of property in the middle of a town and you don't want everybody cutting through your front yard and putting a, rut in your front yard, and you put up a fence, you're not saying you hate everybody. You're just saying this is my space.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and
There's
it's
a lot.
not to be mean, it's just to set your boundaries, like, "This
Yes.
is my property, I don't want everybody walking through it, and so I'm putting up this fence," and so by setting boundaries in your own life, in your own time, your own schedule, it is just putting that fence up. It
Hmm.
doesn't mean you can't say hi to your neighbor through the fence, you can be like, "Hey." Doesn't mean you
Absolutely.
can't invite people in. But it does mean that it's up there for a reason because you are important. Your time is precious. And I talked about that earlier. Time is precious. And so
Absolutely.
anytime you let somebody else take your time without you wanting to, that's disrespecting yourself. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And so the boundaries that you're setting are going to protect. And we keep saying your time because you're never going to get your time back.
Mhm.
Your energy, your peace of mind.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, if you don't set healthy boundaries, it can affect your physical health, your mental health. It can affect your relationships.
Yeah, because people are if you're allowing somebody to walk all over you, it's training them to disrespect you. So you don't have a good relationship there.
No. Well, and if you're constantly saying yes to, I don't know, we're going to use the school. I'm going to go moms. If you're constantly saying yes to the school, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. What's happening over here with your relationship with maybe your husband?
Mm. Yeah,
Because you're
true.
constantly gone saying yes to this, well, he gets the no. It's
Yep.
really no different than saying no to yourself, and you're saying yes to them and it's affecting you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also is affecting your priorities because if you're prioritizing other people, your own priorities are going to be affected by that. And
Yes,
and the most important thing is it's affecting your self-respect and your self-worth. Every
yeah,
time you do something that you really don't want to do for somebody else and you don't set or keep the boundaries, you are disrespecting yourself and that lowers your self-worth. And that's
yes.
not good.
No. That's when women start to feel like a doormat. You've heard women say that all the time. Just a doormat. Well, this is going to be really hard to hear, but guess what? You made yourself that.
Mhm. Yep, and it could be that it was something that you witnessed your
Hmm.
mother or your grandmother do, and so you just took that on and you just stepped into that role without even thinking twice about it. But now we are giving you the information and the tools so that you can start setting those boundaries. It's gonna be hard at first. It is gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
so hard to set and keep those boundaries at first because you're not used to it. But the more and more you do it, the more you practice it, the more that you are going to build up your own self worth and your own self confidence, your own self respect. And it also is training other people to know, like, oh, hey, like she means business. This, like, she's sticking to what she says she's going to do or not do. So
Yes,
keep that in mind.
absolutely. And when you're constantly overcommitted, it affects, and you hear it. I mean, anybody who's watched any of this, your sleep,
Hmm.
your stress hormones are going to stay elevated. You're
Yeah.
going to eat whatever is convenient, which turns into potentially drive through. And that's not healthy for you. You stop
Yeah.
exercising or don't ever begin. You start to lose yourself and you lose time for yourself to do all of the things that you want to do.
Right, like working on your goals or spending time doing
Mhm.
hobbies or personal or self-care or just doing the things that you want to do. You're losing that time every time you commit to
Absolutely.
something else.
And then resentment builds.
Oh,
Whether
yeah.
it is resentment, your resentment, and you're holding it
Mhm.
against everybody else, or the people that mean the most to you start to resent you because you're saying yes to everybody but yourself and them. Because if you're not your best, you can't be your best for your family.
Yep. Yep, I know this firsthand, believe me.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
if you look at your calendar, take a peek at your calendar because that right there is setting the story of it, it's telling the story of your priorities. So you can tell by just looking at your calendar what is scheduled. Is Are things for everyone else scheduled on there, but maybe your own personal hobbies, self-care,
Mhm.
time alone, time with the ones that you love, is that on your schedule?
It should be.
Sometimes we're so quick to schedule in work and everything else, and I get it. Work is important, we have to work to make money, but on the other hand is if we are constantly putting our work above our family, we're losing that precious time, especially
Absolutely.
especially when children are young. They're only little for a very short time.
Mhm. And on
So
your
don't.
calendar, we're talking about scheduling things. It's okay if you put on your calendar, I'm blocking off this 2 hours, and what it says on there is do nothing.
Mhm.
That's okay. Do nothing. It doesn't
Yeah.
have when we're saying look at your calendar and schedule your time, we're not saying you have to schedule to do something. You could literally put in there, everyone knows I love naps. You could put in
Mhm.
there, nap time.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're constantly if your calendar is constantly scheduled for everyone else and not at all for yourself and the things are supposedly the more important things to you, what message is that sending to yourself?
Yes.
So,
Your subconscious is listening
yeah, our subconscious is always listening.
always.
And we talked a little bit. Did we talk about this recently, or was it maybe it was something that we did inside of our communities? But we're talking about like retraining our brain.
Mhm.
And it's so important to train it the correct way because we're constantly training our brain, whether we think we are or not. I actually did talk about this in my last podcast episode about how we are manifesting things into our life, whether we realize it or not, because we're constantly
Absolutely.
training that brain of ours. So we're either training it in a way that we want to be living, or we're training it the opposite, which is not good. So
Yeah, I think
tune
we
into
did
that.
that in our certification because, we
Yeah.
talk about our community. We got certified for this. This isn't, slapstick. And I took a walk yesterday with a friend of mine, and she does this. She does the neurological shifting, and she actually sent me some training that I can go through. So
Cool.
I am so excited to dig into it, but that's another subject. So
Yeah,
when we're
and
talking
sometimes
about that, it is important to retrain your brain, and setting boundaries is retraining your brain.
absolutely, and starting to prioritize things like our health and wellness and our hobbies and things like that, and I know that you and I talk a lot about how some of our supplements are so important to that, like, we are
Oh, yes.
literally we are prioritizing taking care of our minds and our bodies by taking our supplements, whether it be in the morning or with a meal. Like, for instance, like some of them are like adapt, for instance, is so good for our stress and our brain support. It
Mhm.
helps to manage and reduce the stress levels. inside of our body, and it also helps our brain to function so that we can stay on task, so that we can stay focused. That's absolutely incredible. But then there's other things that we can implement throughout the day to help us to calm down. If we're having a stressful day, take a calm.
Actually, I did that. I did that. What day did I do that? I don't know. Middle of the day, I went, why am I feeling just, and I did. I went and took it.
Yeah.
It's ashwagandha. Ashwagandha.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
I know.
adaptogens. So it doesn't make you sleepy, but
Mhm.
it does. And I actually just gave it to my husband because he said he couldn't get his brain to calm down at night. Like when he
Mm.
sits down, it just, and I went, I got a fix for that. And I just set it next to the sink where at night, and I'm like, if you want to take it, you can take it. And
Mhm.
it really does help.
It does. And as you're training yourself, like we talked earlier about how sometimes when we are on the go all the time, we sometimes will grab for things that are not good for us. But what if you
Mhm.
start training your brain and your body to grab for the things that are good for you? Like for instance, Fit Fuel is my go-to for everything. I add it to my coffee in the morning and I will make a shake. Okay, I'm going to give you a recipe really quick because it's super fast. There's 3 ingredients. I
Mhm.
take frozen raspberries, I take 2 scoops of Fit Fuel, which is a serving, and water, and put it in a blender cup, blend it up, and there's my raspberry smoothie. It's like this creamy deliciousness, and I know I'm getting in a huge portion of protein. I know I'm getting in my digestive enzymes, probiotics, prebiotics, colostrum, collagen, all of the things like in one thing, and it's delicious. It's this raspberry creamy deliciousness. So anyway, go try to make it.
I did that with antioxidant blend fruit. So it had like
Yeah,
blueberries
that's
and pomegranates and anyway, so I did the same thing. It was delicious.
yeah,
Okay, we
which
could go
is
off on a tangent for food. So,
yes. So supporting your body though is and boundaries are protecting your life. You need to support yourself. So
absolutely. Okay, so setting boundaries without feeling or sounding mean
yeah, because
is
that's a huge hang up.
huge.
That's why a lot of people don't set boundaries because they feel like they're being mean. So we can shift our language so that we don't have to feel mean.
Yes. So instead of saying, I guess I can, or sure, of course I can do that. And in your brain, you're going, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You can try doing, I'm just not able to commit to that right now.
Yeah. Or I would love to, but my schedule is already full.
Yes. Or you can say, that just really doesn't work for me.
Mhm. Or let me check my calendar before I answer. That's good for like if you're quick to answer somebody like, "Oh, sure, I can do that."
Yeah,
Let me
that gives
check my
you a
calendar.
good pause moment. Let me
Mhm.
check my calendar before I answer. You're not saying no, you're not saying maybe, you're just, and we talk about it all the time, take a pause.
Yep. Take a pause.
Yes.
Yep. Or
Or
even just simply say, "I'm focusing on some of my other priorities right now." Literally, "I'm focusing on priorities right now." And then that way you can they will respect you for this. Like all of these answers
mhm,
are a way of respecting yourself and also allowing other people to respect you and your time.
absolutely. And remember, you don't need to explain why you're not available.
Yeah.
No, I love this. No is a complete sentence.
Yep. Yep, it is.
And if you want it to feel a little softer, you can simply say, and this is probably a good thing to do, no, thank you.
Mhm. Yep.
That's it. No explanation.
Yep,
And
because
you
boundaries don't need permission at all. Like,
no,
and consistently setting and keeping boundaries teaches people how to treat you.
absolutely. And I heard this once, and I think this is very, very important. When you tell people no, it is not necessarily going to upset them. So if you're
Right.
thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to make them upset, you may be opening the door for an opportunity for somebody else by you saying no.
Mhm.
And a great comparison is think about when the waitress comes up and you've just had this huge meal and she asks you if you want cake or pie. And you're
Mhm.
like, no, thanks. Do you think she goes in the back kitchen and cries?
No.
No,
Nope. She
she
could care
doesn't.
less.
And so honestly, if this is something you struggle with and you feel as we're talking through this, you feel it like in your gut or in your heart or wherever you feel it and you're going, "Oh, I just can't do that." Take Carrie Marie's stuck point scan. Let's go there. Or your quiz. Start with your quiz.
Yeah, start with the quiz. The quiz is free and it only takes 5 minutes. So you can go to stuckpointquiz.com and actually let me see if I can pop it up on the screen. I wasn't prepared for that. But
That's
anyway,
okay. And so you look for that. Now, I have done this multiple times. Like I have had things that came up and I went, okay, Carrie Marie, something is off. Something is in my way. And it's actually surprised us a couple times when it came up and went, well, that's interesting.
mhm,
And it was
yeah.
very enlightening. And I say this to my students all the time. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once
Mhm.
you know, and then you can do something about it.
Yeah, because you can't do something about something you don't know is going on. You have to have
Exactly.
awareness. And so that's what the stuck point quiz is all about is figuring out where you're stuck. What's hiding underneath all of that like ick feeling or like because if you're feeling ick about setting boundaries or about keeping your boundaries, that is that's telling you there's something going on. Or if like, there could be all different other examples, but that's specific for today. Anyway,
Yes.
so yeah,
Yes.
definitely take the quiz because it's super eye-opening. And then anybody who takes the quiz, you'll get 50% off on the full stuck point scan. And the stuck point scan is going to be very, very eye-opening. And that's where you actually not only pinpoint exactly what's holding you back, but then we release it together.
Mhm.
And so that's huge because then it's gone. Once it's released, it's gone. Bye bye. See you later. Don't see you
Yeah.
later. I am
Yeah.
never seeing you later again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so anybody who's watching, I'm curious. What is one situation or area of your life that you know you need to set stronger boundaries?
Mhm. And I'm sure that you know this, so this should be easy
Oh,
for you to
yes.
answer.
First thought, best thought, as one of
Yeah,
my coaches always said. First thought, best thought. When you hear that question, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
yeah, yeah, and one of the big, big, big things where a lot of people struggle isn't necessarily just setting the boundaries, because you can set boundaries all day, every day, but it's the keeping them that is the important part. Because if you say, you know, I'm not available or whatever, you say one of the things that we suggested, like I'm not able to commit to that right now. And then you end up going against what you said. And then you're just like, oh, okay, actually, I guess I will. And then you end up doing the thing that you said that you couldn't do. Not only is that you're breaking respect for yourself, like that's completely, and you're giving into something, but it's something that now that other person isn't respecting you either. And
Right. And
so
it may not be an outright thing, but guess what? You just set up a pattern.
yeah,
Next time you
yeah,
say no, they're just going to badger you until you say yes.
yeah. And there are reasons why that happens. Like maybe it's out of guilt or fear or something, or maybe pressure. Maybe somebody's trying to pressure us. They literally are continuing to ask and ask and ask after we've said no. Or maybe it's because we want people to like us, like
Mhm.
or maybe we just, I don't know, we just feel like we are the ones that are responsible for other people's happiness and we don't want to let anybody down. So we end up giving in and we don't end up keeping those boundaries that we set for ourselves, which is not a good place to be.
Absolutely. So you have to remember everybody else's disappointment doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision.
Right. Right. Because protecting your peace is not selfish. Keep this in
No,
mind. It is not selfish. That is your personal peace, your time, your energy. It's yours. And it is not selfish at all to protect that.
no. It is your responsibility to be responsible for you and
Hmm.
your family. I mean, honestly, moms are really good at protecting and setting boundaries around their kids.
Hmm.
Well, set boundaries around yourself too.
Hmm. Yeah. Treat yourself the way that you would your child because If you're constantly like protecting your child, protect yourself.
Well, and you're also teaching your child if you're constantly being somebody else's doormat and not setting boundaries, you're teaching your child to not set boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we talked about that earlier about the
Yeah.
generational pattern of that we see our parents or our grandparents continuously not respecting our own boundaries, not setting boundaries, and so we've fallen into that ourselves. Let's break that. Let's break
Yeah.
it and not pass it along to more generations. Let's be the ones to respect ourselves enough to set
Mhm.
and keep those boundaries. And also keep in
Absolutely.
mind that every time you say yes to somebody else and their wants and needs, you're saying no to something else. You're saying no
Mhm.
to something that you want to do. You're saying no to maybe it's your sleep because maybe you've committed to some kind of project that's going to keep you up all hours of the night, or maybe you're saying no to your exercise time.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just
Dinner
there's so
dinner with
many.
your family, quiet time, any of those, your goals. It's so important. Every time you hear yourself say yes, consciously be aware that you just said no to something else.
Mhm. Yeah. And I love the question. Keep this in mind and write this down because you should ask your question to yourself. Like, pause for a moment. When somebody asks you to do something, pause for a moment and just ask this question to yourself. You don't necessarily have to say it out loud, but will saying yes to this move me closer to the life I want or further away?
Mhm.
Because if you ask yourself this, and the answer is going to be that it's moving you farther away from the life that you want, then you can easily say no. And that is stepping into your dream life and your new identity.
Mhm.
That's something that Christine and I are talking a lot about and training on inside of our our Rich Girl Network communities, because we want all women to be able to live their dream life and step into the identity of that future version of themselves, but do it now. It's a practice and it
It is
takes practice.
practice.
But if
Yes,
you
and
really
I
think
so I'm curious, do you even know what you want out of life?
mm, ooh, that's a big question. I have
Mm.
I have started working with women who literally do not know what they want in life. And
Oh, yeah,
that is common. You know all the things you don't want, right? You know all of
absolutely.
the things
If
you
I
don't want.
asked it I'll bet okay, grab a piece of paper, start writing down all the things you don't want in life. I'll bet you could write super fast and write so many things so quickly. Then pause. What do you want in your life? And I'll bet you
Mhm,
might write 1 or 2 things and then you get stuck.
mhm. And that's a problem because how are you gonna move towards something, move away from the things you don't want if you don't even know what you do want? So that's a
Absolutely.
big one. And that will really be helpful in helping you to set your boundaries. Because once you know who you want to be and the life you want to be living, then you can continuously and regularly be living toward that and practicing that life. And that will be
Yes.
super, super easy in setting boundaries because then when you ask this question to yourself, will saying yes to this move me closer to the life I want or further away? You know, right off of the bat. It's no
Mhm.
question about it. Like, yep, I know exactly the answer to that. And yep, it's going to move me farther away. So I get to set some boundaries around this. And I get to
Absolutely.
keep those boundaries around this and
Mhm.
continuously be practicing toward that. And before you know it, it feels so good. When you can set the boundary and keep the boundary and not let everybody walk all over you, wow, it feels so good. At first it might feel a little off and icky, especially if you're not used to doing this. But once you start continuously doing this and practicing this, all of a sudden you feel so good because you're like, wow, I actually have time to do the things that I want to do.
Mhm.
I actually I kept to my ground and I said no and I stuck to it and that feels good. It
Yeah.
boosts your confidence. So even at first, if you don't have a whole lot of confidence, every time you practice it, you're building it up. You're building it up. And the more and more you do it, the better you're gonna feel.
Oh, yeah. That was my epiphany yesterday is that I am teaching at our local college. Well, I talked to another college and they're like, "Oh, well, we don't charge that much." And I'm like, this is how much it is,
Mhm,
and this is the minimum number of people that are required. If you
mhm,
can't meet that, then I will have to respectfully say no."
Mhm.
And in the past, I would have been in scarcity mindset and been like, "Oh my gosh, well, I have to do it. I have to do it because I need the money." No, this is my boundary. This is my worth. This is where I get to stand.
Yep.
And it's very powerful to do that.
Mhm. It's so, so powerful. So I am so excited for you all to practice this and start living it. It feels so good. Another thing too that we have both learned about setting boundaries, that it's much able, or it's a lot easier, I should say. It's a lot easier to keep those boundaries when you are surrounded by people who are encouraging you. Like for instance, Christine and I are talking all of the time, but we also have our women's communities where
Mhm.
we have this group of women who back us up in these things. So instead of somebody like, "Oh, you probably should have said yes, you don't wanna hurt their feelings." No, they're gonna be like, "Good for you, girl. You stood up for yourself. You said no to
Mhm.
that thing." And because when you're trying to make positive changes in your life, maybe it is that you're trying to set or keep boundaries or something else entirely. If you're trying to make positive changes in your life all by yourself, it's easy to slip back into your old patterns and habits. It's easy to
Yes.
second guess yourself or overthink things. But when you are surrounded by other women who are cheering you on, who are supporting you, who are celebrating your wins, celebrating you for sticking to your boundaries that you set, reminding you of your worth and your goals, all of a sudden, those boundaries are easier to keep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it is so important, and I absolutely love having a community of women that are like-minded. They understand what you're going through. They've done the work. They've been there, and they also will hold you accountable.
Yeah. And also other women who are going through the same exact thing. So you realize you're
Absolutely.
you're not in this alone, and we're all doing this together. We're all learning from each other. We're all here to support each other. It's so important to have that because so many of us in our daily lives, we're just going through the motions and we don't have that support that we really need to get through it and to stick with what we say we're going to do.
Absolutely. And setting that time aside is so important. It
Mhm.
actually I personally think I gain time because
Oh,
I learned to say no, or, I may go, "Oh my gosh, Carrie Marie, I don't know how to get this done and it feels like it's taking forever." And you can say, "Okay, try this." Okay, cool. Well, that just saved me hours of time.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody has their niche, their oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. The thing they're good at is what I'm
Yes.
trying to say.
Yes, we all are so blessed with so many skills and knowledge and
Yes.
experiences that we can bring that to others. And so not only is part of this community having the support of other people, but it's learning from each other and being able to help each other out in these times. Like any one of us could feel a little frustrated or stuck in different areas, and you just ask a question. And other people already know the answer, and you're just like, oh, that saves me so much time. I didn't have to struggle with this forever. I didn't have to go down this rabbit hole of searching a million different articles on the internet and hoping that I find the right answer. I found somebody right here in my community that's already been there, done that, figured it out, and now I can just do it the way they did it. And it's
Absolutely.
yeah.
You can
So yeah.
crawl over somebody else's bridge.
Mhm. Yeah. So much easier. It's so much easier. All
Oh,
right.
yes.
Well, we're already over time, but I just encourage you all to start thinking about setting and keeping your boundaries because
Yeah.
not only is it a form of self-respect, but it is literally your health and your wellness and your life is depending on it.
Yes.
Because otherwise the rest of your life you're just going to be walked all over if you can't set and keep boundaries.
Absolutely. And you will become resentful, which is gonna affect your health. It's that vicious cycle. And
Mhm.
you get to teach people how you will be treated.
Mhm.
If you've
Yep.
ever trained a dog, okay, anybody who takes offense at this, sorry, but it is consistent with love and just consistently doing the same thing.
Mhm. Yep,
And it's
and practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it.
absolutely. So,
Ooh, let's have everybody finish this sentence. Okay, so
yes.
I would like you to finish this sentence. Ready? This week, I'm giving myself permission to fill in the blank. Okay, so write that down. This week, I'm giving myself permission to blank. I would love to know if you want to share your answer in the comments if you feel brave and bold. If not, that's okay. You can keep it to yourself, but it might be helpful to share it to kind of hold yourself a little bit accountable to that, but also to help inspire and encourage other women who see
Yes.
your
And
answer.
so mine, I am giving myself permission to rest this
Mm,
weekend. And I sometimes have to remind myself of this every weekend. That is I get to rest this weekend.
yep. And I am giving myself permission to take some time off of doing work and spend more time with my daughter while she's here visiting.
And that
That is
is so
what I'm doing.
important. So,
Mhm.
so, so important.
Yep.
So,
So cool.
anybody out there who knows somebody who gets to set boundaries, share this with them.
Yeah.
Don't forget to come back.
Basically, any woman or any mom that you know,
Yeah,
they could
even
use
the men, but
yeah.
I think women, I think it falls under women more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And be sure to follow along. We are talking about all kinds of really important topics. For instance, next week, we're doing a fun one next week. We are going to be doing manifestation myth busting because a lot of people hear that word manifestation and they think woo woo, they think weird things, they think that it doesn't exist. And we're going to be doing some myth busting. We are going to see what's true, what's not around manifestation. So tune
Yes.
in next week. Again, it's the Wellness Wake Up Weekly. We are live on Facebook and YouTube every week on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. So tune in and let us know what you're giving yourself permission to do this week. Drop it in the comments. We want to know, or at least let us know that you have written it down for yourself. You might be keeping it private, but just let us know.
Absolutely. We
Yes.
look forward to seeing all of you next week and manifestation myth busting.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have an absolutely amazing week, everyone, and we will see you again next week.